Good morning and welcome to Nora's Dog Training Company. We're here today with Molly and Fred, and what we're going to be demonstrating for you today on video is your girl's ability to understand and respond to her formal on-leash obedience commands, the correction and the motivation that we give the dogs when we're working with them, and the training equipment that we're using. Fred is using a regular 6-foot web training leash, and he keeps the bulk of that leash folded neatly in his right hand. That leaves his left hand free to give any correction that's needed. The only correction that we give is a little tug and release on the training collar, and that is the second piece of equipment that we're using. You're going to be introduced to this equipment and taught how to use it properly during your follow-up training session. Now, as you can see, Molly's sitting very nicely at Fred's left, which is where all of our obedience training is done. She has an odd little personality where she can be very stubborn, but she can also be very soft. So because of that, we've had to alter our training methods a little to suit her. And the first exercise that Fred and Molly are going to demonstrate for us is heeling. Heeling is proper leash walking, and the command is Molly, heel. And if you notice, she's walking very nicely next to Fred's left, not forging ahead or lagging behind. And occasionally he gives her a treat to keep her motivated. Now, we are not a treat-based training school, but with some dogs we pick our battles. So when you stop your feet, she's to sit automatically without being told to wait for her next command. Sometimes she does it perfectly, like that, without a treat, and sometimes she doesn't. And rather than cranking on her and making her afraid to do obedience training, occasionally we're giving her a treat, we're weaning her off. We will continue to wean her off, and we want you to do the same. Now, the next exercise that we're going to demonstrate for you is the sit-stay. The stay is a hand and a voice command, and because it is a stationary exercise, it is a one-word command. This is a command that you can practice indoors as well as outdoors. You're going to start out at about 30 seconds and slowly work up to 3 minutes. When Fred returns back to her, he quickly walks all the way around her and he returns back to her shoulders. And she is to remain seated until she gets praised and gets another command, and they take off heeling again. And what you're looking for is that eye contact with her. That she's actually looking up at you, and that she's focusing, and that she knows where you are in proximity to her, instead of her just putting her head down and dragging you wherever she wants to go. Nice automatic sit. Fred's going to leave her in another sit-stay. Okay. He walks out to the end of the leash and he turns to face her, and he makes her hold that. And when you're practicing indoors, you're going to start testing her as to how long she can hold it, because obedience training is not just for outside. This time, instead of returning back to her, Fred is going to call her. She's to come and sit right in front of you, facing your knees. She's not to be jumping all over you. And she has a very good recall off the leash as well. So when she's running in the big yard and we call her, she comes running to us. And she is very food motivated. So if you're struggling with a particular command, I'm not going to be mad at you if you use a little food to get the desired result. Now Fred's going to leave her again in a sit-stay. He walks out to the end of his leash and turns to face her. He's going to use his name. He's going to lighten his tone of voice because we want her to feel that coming to you is a good thing. He praises her on the way in. And she comes right in and sits. Yep. And then they go back to heel. And that heel is one of the most important things, because she was like a bull in a china shop when she got here, and she just wanted to drop her head and do her own thing. So this is really, really quite advanced for Molly. Now, the next command that we're going to be demonstrating for you is your down from a heel position. So with the dog seated at your left, you take your left open palm, push it straight down toward the ground, and give the one-word command to down and stay. Now, Molly tends to lay down. Dogs enjoy laying down, and once they get the idea that we're not trying to hurt them, we just want them to lay down, they usually do this command well, and they hold it for longer. So when you're practicing this in your home, You're going to start out about a minute and work all the way up to 5 minutes. When Fred returns back to her, he quickly returns back to her shoulders, just like he did on the sit-stay, so he always ends up back where they started. And she got praised, then he gives her another command. And if you notice, he doesn't let her drop her head, because as soon as she drops her head, she's in charge of the walk and not you. So he talks to her. He's very occasional treats at this stage of the game. If she doesn't sit, he says no sit and repeats it. Down and stay. She's a really sweet dog. She just had a lot of work that needed to be done, and she's come a long, long way. And you're going to continue to advance with her as you move forward. This time, Fred will call her out of that down stay. Right in and sat. Beautiful. And the very last command that we're going to be demonstrating for you is probably the most difficult, and that is you're down from a distance, because you're not right next to the dog at this stage. So you leave her in a sit-stay and you turn to face her. You're going to use your right hand to give the command.
Down.
Now, if she doesn't go down, you take a step in, and she went right down. So you're going to be lengthening out your time and your distance on that command as well. We are very, very proud of Molly. She has come an incredibly long way with a lot of hard work. She's a sweet girl, and I know that you're going to have a wonderful life with her. We want to thank you for choosing Nora's Dog Training Company.